Yo, what's going on everybody? It's Ace Turning Ninja here today, my dudes, with a brand new episode and the beginning of a season for our Pokemon VGC content. Now, here's the plan now that we're at the beginning of the month, and I'm going to be able to hopefully be able to keep pushing out VGC content consistently. That's the plan. I wanted to do that last month, but then I kind of fell off, and I was like, you know what? I'll wait. I'll wait until next month starts. That way we can get a fresh, clean start. I'll do some practicing off screen, which I have done. Actually, if those of you guys that follow me on Twitter, you guys would know that I got to Master Ball tier last season, which is pretty cool. With actually this team we're looking at right here is the team that I built myself with the help of my good friend Green Typhlosion. Speaking of which, coming out soon, I'm not sure exactly when, but he and I actually had a VGC battle of him having his team, me having my team. He had some sort of video idea he was going with, and he wanted me to be the battle that he had. Anyway, I don't really know how to explain it. Basically, I just gotta go watch the video, okay? If it's out, I'll link it here on an iCard. If it's not out, check the description. I'll have a blank space for it. As soon as the video comes out, it'll be right there. Also, just go subscribe to his channel, because that would make it a lot easier for you to like know when his video is out. Just go subscribe and hit that bell. Obviously, the easiest way. It's been a while since I've done this. Please forgive me for being an idiot. Anyway, like I said, I built this team with my good friend Green. It actually has a lot of counters in it that we built around what was competitively viable at the beginning of last season, even though this is still season 4, I think, technically, but it's last month's competitive season. Anyways, everything changes so quickly. Some of the stuff that I prepared for aren't very common anymore, like beat up strategies you don't see too often anymore, but I still have preparation against them just in case. And all in all, the team is just pretty darn solid, and I'm excited to show it off to you guys. I'm sure you guys have been reading the movesets here and everything, so I'm not going to go over it. We're just going to go check it out in battle. But if you guys want to use this team yourselves, right here on your screen is the code for you guys to go and check out, as well as I'll link in the description to the Showdown export if you guys want to try it in Showdown as well. So with that, let's get into our first battle. Trainer has been found very quickly, actually, and I'm very happy about that. It's only been about a minute and a half cut since just a second ago, and look like we got some hard Trick Room to go up against. Well, not necessarily hard Trick Room, but definitely Trick Room oriented, and a really solid Firewater Grass core, which I am a little bit nervous about. I do have something to shut down Trick Room, but if he opts for backhand Trick Room, I'm gonna have a little bit more of a problem, as my Azumarill is my Trick Room Pokemon with my P2 here. But I don't really outspeed anything that's hard Trick Room. Like, I'm not gonna outspeed that Turtle. I'm not gonna outspeed that Rhyperior. It just kind of makes things a little bit awkward, especially with Sun up. I don't have any immediate weather control. Now I do have max moves that can give me a little bit of weather control, but that's not like ideal. This is a little bit of an awkward situation. I think I'm actually just going to hard lead Cinderace Liepard and just hope for the best. And then I'm just going to bring Azumarill P2 in the back, even though they don't do anything spectacular. Magnezone and and Amoonguss just don't really feel like they're going to do too much. Like, Amoonguss could Giga Drain the Rhyperior, but that's pretty much it. And he has two grass types. That's two grass types whose moves I can't redirect, and I can't Spore either. I mean, Amoonguss could have been okay to potentially Spore his Dynamax, but that would have been a very protection heavy on my part, and I don't know. It's been about a week since I've done any kind of VGC playing anyway. I just don't know that I want to rely on that. It looks like we do actually have the Dusclops Torkoal lead here, which is actually fantastic, because I actually have Taunt. I actually have Priority Taunt, actually, on my my cat right here, so I'm pretty much guaranteed the taunt to go into that Dusclops, which means he's guaranteed not to get Trick Room. And I could max Sucker Punch the Dusclops as well, but I'm gonna taunt it anyway, which means it's kind of just there going for Nightshade after that point. And I don't really need to max Airstream. I think I actually just want to go for the max Knuckle and guarantee my next move KOs this Torkoal. Actually, do I want to just go for max Fire into the Dusclops? I kind of do, but I don't. By the way, this is not a Gmax This is not a G-Max Cinderace, by the way, because I wanted to have weather control on my part. On the off chance I do end up caught in an awkward situation with my Dynamax out next to a rain or across from a rain Pokemon, I want to be able to change the weather if at all possible. That's kind of the idea. I know that it's slightly less base power than the G-Max move, but I feel like a little bit of weather control it almost makes it worth it. Okay, so we see the Protect from the Torkoal, which means this is basically a turn for me that has no downsides, because I taunt the Dusclops, you're not getting your Trick Room up, and I Max Knuckle the Torkoal so I get an attack boost, so my next attack's going to be doing even more damage. I have a really solid position here at the very beginning of this game. That's why I like this lead, actually, because it actually stacks up not perfectly but relatively well to a lot of the metagame. You know, and with proper play and proper prediction, it actually just shuts a lot of things down. Now I'm just going to go for the Max Airstream with the Torkoal. I'm expecting he's going to want to swap out here, Torkoal, since he's not in Trick Room. He's not going to be doing nearly as much damage. And I'm just going to go for the Snarl for a little bit of chip damage on the Dusclops. And if he swaps in his Venusaur, that's a special attack drop on the Venusaur, which is really nice as well. And I'm getting a Max Airstream up, which means I'm going to be outspeeding the Venusaur even with his Chlorophyll. I think I'm not totally sure about the calculations on that. I could be wrong, but I think that's how that would work. Sort of, maybe. I don't know. Alright, we do get he doesn't swap, we do get the Max Airstream off. I guess he's looking for a free switch into his next Pokemon, but he's not actually going to get that because the Torkoal does live, which is inconvenient. Although he might actually go down to a Snarl here. He is pretty low. Snarl might just be enough. And if he... Oh, it is enough. Very nice, very nice. And if he goes for the Nightshade... I'm imagining he's going to go for Nightshade into my Liepard. Or he goes for the Bulldoze. He goes for the Bulldoze, and he only hits Liepard, which does, like, no damage. He's going for the Weakness Policy proc without Dynamaxing. That's very interesting. That's very interesting. That's not something I foresaw, but that's fine. So he's trying to self-proc Bulldoze, which is interesting. Now he's got a Rhyperior out, but it's not under Trick Room. I'm gonna Max Darkness this Dusclops because his taunt should be ending soon, and I'm feeling like I should click Burning Jealousy. I feel like I should click Burning Jealousy. Because if this Rhyperior maxes and goes for like max ground, then I can burn the Rhyperior. Actually, that's a lie, because I'd be moving before him. So that would be doing no damage. I'm actually just going to go for Snarl, on the off chance this Dusclops somehow lives my Max Darkness. We do see the Max coming out here, but that's fine, because his Sun should be ending soon, and I actually have my Azumarill in the back, which would just mollywop this guy. I don't know, I'm assuming this is the Pokemon he was actually trying to weakness proc with his Bulldoze. I don't know why he revealed it so quickly. I'm assuming this is the Pokemon he wanted to weakness proc with his Bulldoze though, so hopefully this actually KOs. Double up Dark type move should KO the Dusclops here. Oh. Pshaw. Pshaw. Get out of here, Dusclops. I overestimated his bulk there. I honestly thought he'd live in the red. I'm not gonna lie. I was fully expecting just the slightest survival. Oh, but I am attack boosted. That's why. Of course, that's why. And now I am a dark type, which means this. I should live this. Actually, that did that fairly decently. Now, of course, I am no longer Dynamaxed, but I could go for he actually reset the Sun for me, which is fantastic, because as soon as one of my two Pokemon go down, I'm slapping this dude with a liquidation. Guaranteed. Nah, never mind, not guaranteed. I'm gonna have to... Oh, Rillaboom's just gonna fake out here, isn't he? Oh, it's got a lot more difficult with Rillaboom being in the back. Because Rillaboom can fake out completely for free, while Rhyperior does whatever he wants. I have to try I'm gonna try and bounce the Rillaboom anyway. I'm gonna go for the Burning Jealousy here. I'm not expecting any attack boost, but it'll be a little bit of damage on the Rillaboom. Oh, it just goes straight for the Grassy Glide. Imagine if I had Sucker Punch. Imagine if I had Sucker Punched. I fully expected the fake out, because that was very obvious, and it would have done a fair chunk of damage. Given the Rhyperior, the KO, he could have gotten a special defense boost. Put himself in a pretty nifty situation. Now we're kind of feeling a little bit awkward, but we do get the double swap in, and you'll see exactly why this is much better for us in a second. Because now this player, I'm not sure how good they really are. They haven't been making any big plays or crazy reads or anything. They could just be playing very safe. They're doing fine. They're doing fine with the 2v2 at this point, which is exactly where they want to be. They still have their Dynamax available, which is still very solid play of them. But as you can see here, we actually have Ally Switch on our P2 because we're not Bolt Beam. We don't have Bolt Beam coverage. I wanted the Ally Switch specifically, which means we have Tri Attack. Let's see what we get. Oh, we get the special attack boost as well, which is fantastic. But we have Tri Attack. We have Liquidation for the Rhyperior right here. Ally Switch, Recover, and Trick Room. So we're gonna actually Ally Switch right here, completely expecting the Grassy Glide right into a Zoom Whirl, which is very obvious, right? We're gonna Ally Switch. The Zoom Whirl's not gonna get hit by the Grassy Glide, which is exactly what we need. And then we're gonna go smack this Rhyperior right in the face with a Liquidation. And that doesn't even KO. That's actually surprising. I'm not gonna lie. I'm actually very surprised by that. And we don't actually have Aqua Jet because we're supposed to be set under Trick Room. That's the idea. Oh my goodness, and that just obliterates us. That's very unexpected. I expected us to live in the red, probably. I didn't think that would just straight up KO. Holy cow. And P2 just does not have the defensive prowess to take 2 attacks here from these monsters. Maybe if it was on the special side, I could have taken them. But definitely not now. This is why Rillaboom is so scary, and you just need to really need to be prepared for Rillaboom. Honestly, Rillaboom is pretty well countered by a Rillaboom of your own. And you can give Rillaboom acrobatics as well if you want to play that game. If you want your Rillaboom to be a Rillaboom counter, you can give your Rillaboom acrobatics pretty easily. I'm actually not sure. I actually am not sure what I'm gonna do here. I'm not gonna lie. I'm just gonna attack and accept my loss because I don't think there's any way I get around this. I can't recover enough. I might have been able to recover enough to live one attack from one of these guys, but not recover enough to stall out these two monsters on my opponent's side. I think I got a little bit too carried away with my own team here, and I didn't prepare for the Rillaboom. I did not prepare for the Rillaboom at all. That was my biggest issue. I played that game fine in the beginning, but by the time the Rillaboom came out, my Cinderace had taken way too much damage to be effective against it, and I don't have anything else to handle Rillaboom. Like my Cinderace has to handle Rillaboom, and Rillaboom is a fantastic late game Pokemon. Cinderace typically comes out in the early game. I just don't prepare very well for the Rillaboom. That's my biggest problem with this team, is Rillaboom, for real. Single-handedly Rillaboom, and Rillaboom's basically on every team. So, like that's something I really need to prepare for a lot better going into the future. But let's see if we can get another game in. See if we can actually get a dub with this team, because that'd be fantastic. Okay, opposing trainer round, tie. We have some very interesting stuff here on the lower ladder. I'm not entirely sure what's going on here, but okay. What is your lead? What do I prepare for with your lead? I actually have zero idea. Comfey actually just scares me out of using Liepard altogether, because even though Liepard can taunt it, I just take a lot of damage. I kind of want to lead a Mungus Magnezone here. I'm expecting the Comfey Cinderace lead. But if he brings a Magnezone of his own, what do I do? I have no idea, honestly. Do you have anything for Trick Room? You don't have excellent answers for Trick Room, and Azumarill actually does pretty good damage here. The only thing I'm afraid of is that Magnet, so I'm bringing Cinderace specifically to handle that Magnet. And a Mungus just for redirection, because he doesn't have anything to not be redirected. He doesn't, and he doesn't have anything to hit a Mungus for particularly good damage either, besides the, well, I'm expecting it's, oh, it's she. Oh, I apologize. I assumed your gender. I'm expecting there to be Expanding Force in her and DD. I'm also kind of expecting... Look at that fire outfit, though. What the heck? You have no reason looking like a... I mean, honestly, you look like a receptionist, I'm not gonna lie, but... I mean, it's still a pretty cool outfit. Got the DD Psychic Chain going out to the very beginning, which is fine, actually. Well, it's not great, but it's acceptable. It's acceptable because what I can do here. This is actually really not good for me. The Cinderace is gonna max, probably max Knuckle into the Porygon, and then DD's just gonna Expanding Force and do big damage to both of us. Actually, Porygon. I don't think I'm getting that Trick Room up. That's my biggest problem right now. Is I don't think I'm getting that Trick Room up. I'm just gonna click Recover. I'm just gonna click Recover right off the bat, actually, and just straight up Liquidation into the Cinderace. I'm expecting Cinderace to max. Yes, there we go. Max Knuckle. I'm expecting Max Knuckle into the Porygon. He could max Iron Hand. Max Steel Spike. That wouldn't be a terrible play either. I'm expecting him to go for the attack first. And because he wants to shut down my Porygon, he wants to shut down my Trick Room. Helping Hand and DD. Straight up max Steel Spikes. Okay. I read a play. He read my read. And now I'm playing for big time. Because now I'm down a Pokemon in my... I don't even get Trick Room up. I don't get anything for making the prediction that I did. In fact, I get pooped on just for trying to make a read. The Max Steel Spike was pretty obvious, but I really felt like he wanted to go for the attack boost there. I'm not gonna lie. That felt like a very easy attack boost situation. I'll just bring in my own Cinderace now. He's probably gonna try to redirect. I'm gonna ally switch. I think he should attack first. Most Cinderace have positive speed nature. Mine happens to be positive attack. So he should attack first, which means going for the max Sucker Punch into Indeedee. Means I resist his max Knuckle, potentially going into my Porygon slot. If he does that, he just max Knuckles me again next turn for a KO. It's like not even like a good turn play. It protects me for this turn, allows me to lock down and beat, but like I'm not really that afraid of it. I mean, it does show that I have ally switch, which puts another layer of like, should I or shouldn't I into this game? Like you can't attack into any particular slots as confidently as long as Pidgey's on the field. So there's that, but. Okay, so he just goes for max Airstream to try to ensure that he is faster than me. Fair enough. I could trick him here. I could bluff a second ally switch and just click trick him to be able to outspeed his Cinderace and knock it out. That actually would have been a solid play. Because I think I could have lived one of anything he wanted to go for it, so And now he has Max Knuckle. I'm assuming he doesn't actually have a Fire type move on this Cinderace. Because most Cinderace... Well, does he have another Fire type on his team? That's the question. I didn't pay attention to that. The rest of his team is kind of odd. These two Pokemon in his lead are the only ones that I feel like are fairly standard. Comfey's not uncommon. Comfey has a decent amount of play. But nothing crazy. I'm just gonna max. I'm just gonna go for the max Fireball into the Comfey. I actually feel like I have to go for it. I'm gonna max Fireball the Cinderace, and I feel like I have to go for Ally Switch actually, because he can priority Kiss me, right? And then hit me with Fighting type move. I mean, a fighting type move here is very safe either way. Max Flutter Ball, max U-turn. Did you predict the Ally Switch though? That's the question. He did. Well, I almost didn't. I'm playing myself. It's actually really late. I'm not making an excuse for anything like that right now because it's that in general. But it's actually really late. I'm not gonna lie. It's actually 3 a.m. for me right now, which could contribute a little bit to my poor playmaking. But it's also. I'm also just really not very good at VGC. I think I got pretty lucky being able to just slap my way through this entire, slap my way into the Master Ball tier. Because when I got to Master Ball tier, I didn't go past like 28,000. I think that's as high as I went. Like I didn't do very good once I got to Master Ball tier. So it's not even like I had any big brain plays or anything. Now he just pretty freely, you can pretty freely U-turn here. He can also pretty freely bounce if he wanted. I don't think he has Iron. Yeah, he has Iron Head, bounce, U-turn. I don't know if I've seen his last slot or if I just missed it. But there's the Pyro Ball. Helping Hand Pyro Ball. You don't need a Helping Hand Pyro Ball. You pretty much KO with Pyro Ball anyway. But there is no high jump kick. So I overestimated his moveset, and there was no high jump kick. Max Knuckle was what I was trying to play around, and got played for it, which is not ideal. I think this is honestly just GG's. I'm just gonna run from the battle because there's no point in stalling this out. I lose. I can lose now, or I can lose in 10 turns. But either way, it's GG's. This is not a very good showing for this team. Please trust me. You can go check my Twitter. I posted a picture when I actually hit Master Ball tier because I was very excited. I brought this team to Master Ball tier last month. Don't know why. I don't know why I can't do anything with it right now. Like on paper, it seems solid, right? But I'm just playing so poorly right now. And I think, all right, so let me think about this. So he led, let's see, he led with his Cinderace and Indeedee. If I had led my lead, my standard lead of Cinderace and Liepard, I could have maxed my Cinderace, gone for the max Sucker Punch, KO the Indeedee turn 1, and Burning Jealousy his Cinderace, who probably would have gone for a max Airstream, and then had the Burn Cinderace on the enemy's team, had my Cinderace maxed and my Liepard out, then they would have brought out their Comfey. I was afraid of getting priority draining kissed by Comfey. That's why I didn't bring Liepard in the front. I think I gave Comfey too much credit. Comfey tends to be a support Pokemon that I think more or less wants to come in second. Oh, actually, oh my goodness. I didn't even think about this, but if he has an Indeedee on his team, he probably doesn't have a priority draining move. either it's completely supportive, which is very possible with Helping Hand, because typically if you have Helping Hand on your, well, not typically, I think most of the time if you have Helping Hand on your flower thing, I don't remember, I just blanked on the name. Florges? No, I don't know. Flower, you know what I'm talking about. If you have Helping Hand on it, I think more often than not it's fully support, because you also want to make sure you have, well, I suppose you don't want to make sure. I tend to carry aromatherapy on mine over Helping Hand because of how common sleep is. Being able to click aromatherapy and take my own sleep away is very nice. Anyway, so if he had Cinderace and that flower thing on the field, then at that point I can go for taunt, priority taunt onto that flower thing, so it's useless, and max Pyro Ball probably, or max Airstream of my own even. Probably max Pyro Ball, because I'm not going to catch up with his Airstream, so might as well just get as much damage off as possible. So stab. Actually, I get stabbed from anything, so JK. But maybe max Airstream then. Onto the opposing max Cinderace. Honestly, if I had just led differently, I think we would have been in a very different situation in that game, but leading what I did provided me absolutely nothing. And that was my biggest downfall. I led expecting something else that he didn't bring. That was my problem there. Because on paper, Azumarill does a lot to that team, but Azumarill needs to have Trick Room up to do anything. And I was just too afraid to put Trick Room up. I was too afraid. I was afraid of the Max Knuckle. First off, I was afraid of the Max Knuckle. And I felt like if he Max Knuckled, I might have been able to move before the Indeedee. Actually, I expected Follow Me Max Knuckle. So if he Max Knuckled into my Porygon, actually the play he made was very smart considering what I led. Because if he Max Knuckles Porygon, that probably doesn't KO, which means I get the Trick Room up anyway. And even if he Expanding Force Max Knuckled, I think I still could have lived that depending on my EV spread. I don't think mine could have lived that, but I think generally speaking, Porygon could have lived that depending on the EV spread. So I think what he actually did was probably one of the safest options, because after seeing what my team had, he knows that my only Trick Room Pokemon, like the only Pokemon that I have that wants to take advantage of Trick Room, which typically is used as back room Trick Room, or back end game Trick Room, is the Azumarill. So taking out the Azumarill, even if I had gone for Trick Room, I would have put myself in a not very good situation because the rest of my team doesn't want Trick Room up. So actually, doing what he did actually made a lot of sense, and yeah. Oh, I mean, loss is a loss. I just you gotta learn from your losses, right? Anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed today's episode, and maybe you learned a little bit with me about how this team works and how it doesn't work, because I'm still learning obviously as I go. But with that, hopefully you guys enjoyed today's episode. If you did, and you want to see more VGC content like this, please let me know by leaving a comment and leaving a like on this video. Of course, subscribe if you guys are indeed new around here, and share this video with your friends. And with that, I'm gonna get out of here. Hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Peace.